Next week, we're going to come back as a true crime podcast.
Or an NPR podcast.
Yeah.
All right, well, welcome to episode 101. Today, we're going to go over some news, possibly do a little bit of what we played. We also have a retrospective that we do here on TC Throwers NPR.
that was beautiful, man.
That was perfect.
It was, yes.
Thank you.
All right.
That's my radio voice.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Controller Throwers podcast. How's everybody doing today?
Feeling good.
Awesome.
Ooh. Yay! We're doing good! 100 episodes! Hooray! Hype
This
it up!
is episode
Woo!
number 100. We are in the
100.
triple digits. Triple digits,
Triple
folks.
digits.
Wow.
Yeah, we made it.
Yeah.
Could you
Looks
could you
like
imagine?
we made it.
like we actually did things
Yeah.
for a while, and not
I know.
just give up, be like or just
It lasted a lot longer than. So just if you want to see how boring we used to be, go to iTunes and just search for keepcasual.com.
oh my no,
That was
Don't
what
do
Kurt and
that.
I over 10 years ago did our podcast. But no, there was a
Wow.
Controller Throwers podcast episode 100 for Tuesday, April 23rd, 2019. What up, everybody? For the 100th time, I am Mike. With me, as always, for the 100th time is Mr. Kurt
hello.
and Mr. Brian,
Hello.
and probably like maybe the 65th time, and Ms. Sherry.
Hi, guys.
Hey, 65th time. That's over a year.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
I think it's over 2 years actually. I think you've actually been here because we did the the streamer spotlight.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
And I want to say that was probably like 2 years ago that we did that, right?
Yeah. Year and a half.
That was a while ago.
It
Yeah.
was a while
Yeah.
ago. So you've been with us for a while. So yeah.
And we're going to
I
bring
do
it back,
stuff.
and we're bringing back the streamer spotlight next week.
Hype.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that.
Surprise, surprise.
Yes.
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
So,
Nice.
before we get into the news, I wanted to call this out. Going 100 episodes. I can't believe we've been doing this long. And it's awesome. And I'm going to actually be serious before we get into this. All the people that we've met, all the friends that we've made, it just sitting back and thinking about all the awesome stuff that's happened just as a result of the four of us getting together every Tuesday night to talk video games is nothing short of incredible. Just the friends we've made. Right here, Retro Game Brews, PlayPod, Roger and the whole thing with the Gamerheads podcast, getting involved and partnering up with them. I mean,
Yes.
that's been insane. I mean, I'm so appreciative of all the people that we met. Jess, one of our listeners who came from New Zealand and went to and is currently in Canada and came down to Chicago just to pay us a visit. Well, I guess to see all the Chicago museums and architecture and shootings, but other than that.
And shootings.
No, he's talking about right next to you, Kurt. Right next to you. Yeah.
That's fine.
This is Mike, yeah.
But
And of course, Tanuki.
and Tanuki, it's
Yeah.
Oh yeah, even that guy.
yeah. Even some of our other friends, Oops Wrong User, who showed up every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yep.
Be Good Finger.
Be Good Finger, who we got into with the Perlers.
Yeah.
It's just great to have met all of you and just become friends with everybody. So thank you everybody for listening and being friends with us. So
Thanks for thinking we're interesting. 'Cause we're
yeah.
not.
So I'm gonna talk.
Well
real
put, Sherry.
Yeah. So considering this is episode 100, I went back and I listened to episode number 1, And just to kind of give you an idea of how old the show is, I'm going to go over some of the news items that we talked about in episode 1. So in episode 1, we started off the entire podcast with some of the most depressing news. The founder of Namco, Masaya Nakamura, died at 91. He worked to create Pac-Man. So that was our very first news. Then another bit of news that we had, we talked for the very first time they announced that Square Enix reached a partnership with Marvel for an Avengers game. And I put in the notes here, this probably won't come out till 2018. No, nothing's been announced yet. We still haven't heard anything about an Avengers game.
Wow.
Yep.
We also mentioned that Yooka-Laylee went gold. Hadn't released, which is funny because Yooka-Laylee was my very first pick for the No Man's Sky Award of Shattered Dreams award of 2017. There was a rumor that L.A. Noire was coming to the Nintendo Switch, which turned out to be true.
That actually came true. Yeah.
It did come true. And then we had a news story about some additional information about the Switch's battery, and then we talked about Kevin Smith being a playable character in Call of Duty Zombies. So this was in January. This is at the end of January, 2017.
So we are officially older than the Nintendo Switch.
Yes, we are.
Excellent.
Yes, absolutely. And the other thing I did is I wanted to point out I listened to what we were playing at the time, and when you hear what we were playing, it's going to be really depressing because I'll just get into it.
Was I still playing Fallout 4?
No, you were not. You were playing Skyrim.
Skyrim.
You were playing Skyrim. You and I were playing Destiny. Actually, in episode 1 is when you told the story about when you flipped the table.
Yes!
That was episode 1.
Wow.
Awesome.
And I still have the candle wax all over the floor, too.
100 episodes later.
Yep.
Nice.
I was playing Smash Brothers on the 3DS, and this may come as a big surprise, but Kurt was playing Minecraft.
No way.
The hell you
Hey,
say?
I'm telling you, the game has legs.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So that's just a recap a little bit on what we did in episode 1. So
Wow.
yeah. So so enough of that reminiscing. Let's get into the news.
Alrighty. The Nintendo Switch has hit yet another milestone. According to VG Charts, which tracks games and system sales, the Nintendo Switch has now sold more systems in 2 years than the Nintendo 64 sold in its lifetime. Wow. VG Charts says that the Switch sold 33.15 million units as of a couple weeks ago. Official figures from Nintendo show that the Nintendo 64's lifetime sales are at 32.93 million. What's next on the Switch's hit list? That would be the Super Nintendo, which sold 49.1 million systems in its life. Wow, I am really surprised because I don't know if it was just me, but I loved my Nintendo 64. My Nintendo 64 is probably one of my favorite systems, if not my favorite system of all time. So it's very surprising for me to hear that it's outsold that.
Yeah,
It was a revolutionary system.
It was absolutely the first time I saw Mario World in 3D. I mean, I was like, I need to have this in my life. There is no if, ands, or buts.
But at the same time, it's also when the other systems went to discs versus cartridges. So it's kind of like some can argue that it was the start of the downturn of Nintendo.
Yeah.
And I hate to say that because I'm with you guys. The 64 is one of my favorite systems I've ever played.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have PlayStation and Xbox coming out, I don't think Xbox is out at the time, but they're moving towards discs and faster systems, and it was Nintendo's kind of not beginning of their end, but it just
the swan song of the cartridges.
There you go.
Yeah, but at the same time, the load times are so long on the disc system, so it still had it still had its. I don't know. People would look. Okay, well, do I want to wait for the load time, or do I want a cartridge system, which is a lot quicker?
It was tough, man. It was because both PlayStation and 64 had their had their gems. You know, it was.
Oh, absolutely.
It was. Yeah, GoldenEye, absolutely. The Nintendo 64 is responsible for me almost failing, having to retake my speech class in college because I got a D. I got a D because of GoldenEye. My freaking addiction. That's the sound that haunts me.
Well, and that's definitely the thing I think that kept Nintendo alive is that the 64 had a great library of games.
First party.
Oh, absolutely.
First party games, yeah. Well, that's that. Just games in general, first party games, yeah. And that's what kept it. I think that's really what kind of kept Nintendo afloat because if they didn't have the first party games, who knows what would have happened after that?
Yeah. I will also like to point out that the Nintendo 64, I'm holding up my 64 controller, is the very first controller I ever modded. Because I took my black Nintendo 64 controller and I took my yellow Nintendo 64 controller and I modded them to get this little. I know Kurt's like, you call that modding?
You fancy now, boy.
That's cool though, isn't it?
It is cool.
Yeah. So, but yeah, good work. I think the Switch will pass the Super Nintendo sales. Then it's going after the NES and the Wii, so we'll see how that works out.
Yeah.
It was his first and last modded controller he ever made.
I burned down the entire dorm.
That's awesome. Well, Konami just released its Arcade Shmup collection last week and has lifted the lid on their collection. The Castlevania Anniversary Collection. The game is set to come on May 16th for PC, PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch. And it's only priced at $20. Not bad. So here's the games that it'll include. Obviously the original Castlevania, right? Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest. Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse. Super Castlevania 4, the Castlevania The Adventure, Castlevania 2 Belmont's Revenge, Castlevania Bloodlines, wait a second, hold on, Kid Dracula, and a bonus ebook.
Bonus ebook?
I know, right?
I'm in.
So the games have all been found on the NES, Genesis, Game Boy, but Kid Dracula was actually a cartoon spin-off that released in 1990 only in Japan. So that's pretty cool, right?
Wow.
Yeah,
this is like the ultimate collection.
I know it. Well, it is.
No, that's a great thing because like someone like me who actually hasn't played any Castlevania games, that for $20, I mean, there you go.
Yep.
You know, so that's really cool.
Yep.
Super Castlevania 4, arguably one of the best Castlevania games, if not, well, definitely one of my favorite Castlevania games. I absolutely loved playing that one. Castlevania Bloodlines for the Genesis. The other two, Castlevania The Adventure and Castlevania 2 Belmont's Revenge, those are Game Boy games. Oh. So, I don't know, I think I'm really excited about this.
Like original Game Boy in like olive green and black?
Yeah, buddy.
Okay, nice.
That would be awesome. A remastered version of that would be even better, but it would be awesome. Olive green and black.
If you could toggle it, you could pick, that'd be awesome.
Yep.
So be on the lookout for that. I know I'm definitely picking that up.
Nice.
The only downside is digital only.
Oh.
Is it really?
Yeah.
A collection like that, you would think that they would put a physical release and put some artwork book in there, but I guess that's what, digital, ebook.
Moke could make it though.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be official.
Yeah.
It's not official.
But you can make one.
I could. Thank you for having faith in me, Kurt. I appreciate it.
I always have faith in you.
Big mistake.
Aww.
All right, so yeah, be on the lookout for Castlevania. And then you know what collection comes next after the Castlevania collection?
Adventure of Lolo?
No, that's not Konami. Oh. That's HAL. Think about it. Konami What's Konami famous for besides the shoot 'em ups in Castlevania?
Ikari Warriors?
Nope, that's NIS or not NIS. That's SNK.
Contra?
Contra, the Contra collection. Brian gets the point.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Yeah. So our next is going to be we're going to see what Contra games. Sonic. No, sorry, not Sonic.
I was lobbing you that one, Brian, just to let you know, because you always win everything else. So
we gotta make you look good, Brian.
Yeah.
I actually guessed on that one.
So, all right. So our next bit of news, and I'm gonna throw some tags on this. Woot, 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 woot. Spoiler. Woot, woot, woot. Mortal Kombat 11 was only announced a few months ago at the Video Game Awards, but unfortunately it has had its fair share of leaks. Now that the game is out, we have yet another possible leak, and this one is a juicy, juicy leak. It is
how juicy?
It's so juicy that Nestle can make a delicious candy out of it by the foot.
Just stop.
You put me on the spot, Kurt. What else do you?
Now you know how it feels, man.
Exactly.
Feels bad.
Oh my
man.
goodness, that was bad. That was bad.
Okay. Supposedly, someone hacked the Nintendo Switch version of Mortal Kombat 11 and stumbled across the full list of upcoming downloadable characters.
Wow.
And if this is to be true, there are 9 additional characters coming to the game. This is huge news because it's, because with these DLC characters, they make it a big deal. They wait for like fighting game tournaments and E3 and stuff like this to announce these characters. I watched the video. When they showed off the Ninja Turtles in Injustice 2 during a tournament, and the audience just absolutely went berserk. So hearing this kind of is not a disappointment as in I'm disappointed in the characters, kind of a disappointment as in, why did we have to hear about this and not be surprised? So, spoiler alert, if you don't want to hear these characters, turn the volume down for the next 15 to 30 seconds. Otherwise, you will be disappointed, like I was. But, So, here's the characters. So, we're going to start with Mortal Kombat characters. So, first of all, it's going to be Shang Tsung, then Nightwolf, Sindel, Fujin, Shiva. And then moving on to third-party characters, Spawn, the Joker, the Terminator, and the one that set my heart aflutter, Ash Williams.
Wow.
Now, none of this...
Is Ash the, oh my god, what's the movies?
The Evil Dead.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
This is my
Bruce
boomstick.
Campbell. Yep.
Yes, okay.
And I can
That's such an odd
guarantee you-
choice.
That's a great choice.
No, I know, but what's the correlation?
There is no correlation. That's the thing.
That's what I mean.
In
It's like it's super random.
Mortal Kombat 10 had Jason Voorhees, had the Alien and the Predator.
Okay.
Mortal Kombat 9 had Freddy Krueger. Mortal Kombat 10 also had Leatherface.
Okay.
So they bring in all these horror characters into these games because they're owned. Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants. Yep, exactly. So this isn't official, and the names may just appear, and nothing is set in stone until NetherRealm Studios announces it. But it does look quite interesting. So they found
sure.
They found these names in the actual code of the game. Doesn't necessarily mean that there's going to be these characters, but it kind of sounds like that might be it. But I can tell you, if Ash is going to be in the game, Bruce Campbell's voicing him, without a doubt. Without a doubt, that's going to happen. The Joker would be really awesome because putting him in a mature-rated game.
It's past 30 seconds, dude.
Okay. Well, I meant. So
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for keeping track.
Yeah, thanks. These characters, the ones from Mortal Kombat, I'm really excited about. One of them who made an appearance in Mortal Kombat 3. One of my favorite characters, and I loved playing as this character, so I'm hoping that character comes in. But again, rumors for now, but Mortal Kombat DLC looks awesome. Makes me want to get it, and I want to get Mortal Kombat 11 right now, but I'm waiting because they always release a complete edition, complete with a K, edition for like
the Kardashians.
Yeah. I think they're the DLC characters.
That would be awesome.
Mortal Kombat.
That would so be awesome.
Mortal Kombat featuring the Kardashians.
With the two Ks facing the other direction.
Yep.
Mortal Kombashian.
Mortal Kombashian.
Guess what that means?
That's the episode name.
Unless we can find something better. So yeah, now where was I? Oh yeah, that's it. All right, Brian, you're up.
Okay, well, having nothing to do with the Kardashians at all,
Thank
but
God.
having everything
Thank
to
God.
do with Sega's upcoming Genesis Mini console, which comes out September 19th, by the way, and includes 40 games. Take that, Nintendo. Sega has been announcing games periodically, and they've just announced the next 10 games to come out. And these games include Castle of Illusion, starring Mickey Mouse, World of Illusion, starring Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck, Thunder Force 3, Super Fantasy Zone, Shinobi 3, Streets of Rage 2, Earthworm Jim, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Contra the Hardcore, and Landstalker. These games join already announced Sonic the Hedgehog, Echo the Dolphin, Castlevania Bloodlines, Space Harrier 2, Shining Force, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, Toe Jam and Earl, Comics Zone, Altered Beast, and Gunstar Heroes. Console is already shaping up to be worth its price.
Yeah, I'd say so.
And by the way, that price is $80, and it includes 2 controllers.
Ooh,
Yeah,
look at them being all fancy, including the second controller like in the olden days.
Yeah, instead of the new days where it's like, here's your system and 1 controller.
Dude, they're gonna eventually just be like, we're not even giving you controllers. Okay, you gotta figure this out on your own. You have to buy them separately. Oh man, that's a lot of good games.
Here's what I love. There are so many awesome third-party games in this that are completely unexpected.
Yes.
And here's what has my, of course, my brain starts going in 75 different directions. Here's what I'm thinking, and here's what I'm hoping and praying and crossing my fingers for. So Sega announced Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse, which is an amazing game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Castle of Illusion is a great game. World of Illusion is a great game.
Shinobi.
This means, with these 2 games, Castle of Illusion, World of Illusion, this means that Sega has a working relationship with Disney. Which also possibly could mean that we might get one of my favorite Sega Genesis games on this system, Aladdin.
Oh, Aladdin was such a good game.
What are you
it really
laughing?
was.
Well, Brian's what are you laughing at me for, punk?
I'm not laughing because of anything that I wouldn't expect anything less from you, Mike.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not saying nothing because Aladdin's one of my favorite movies. So
Those games, normally games based off of movies were terrible games, but
Still
Lion
are.
King, Aladdin, those were great games, and they were challenging, and they were fun,
Very
and they were
hard.
true to the story. So I agree 100%, Mike. If they throw in on like Aladdin, Lion King, I'm in.
And not only that, but one of the things I loved most about the Sega Genesis Aladdin was the soundtrack.
Yes. Oh,
Right,
Sega had the best music. I'm sorry. Like, I'm a Nintendo person, but Sega had the music, man.
So, and it's just, I used to sing along to it too. I used to sing the lyrics to the thing. So, but seeing this working relationship, there are so many like really good licensed games. Like, I'm sure it's not going to happen, but I've said it on the show before, but Ghostbusters on the Sega Genesis was an amazing game. After the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 versions, that one is probably the best Ghostbusters game, which isn't really saying much. But But yeah, so Sega Genesis. So Brian, I gave you this news story because you never had a Sega, and seeing these games, what are you thinking? Is it make it more appealing to you, or?
I mean, just the fact that it comes with 40 games and the same price as the Nintendo consoles makes it appealing to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't ever say, am I excited because of Streets of Rage 2? I mean, I've never played Streets of Rage 2, so I can't say I'm excited. It's Sonic the Hedgehog. Any Sonic game I've ever played, I was horrible at.
Oh, me too.
So,
me too, Bri.
I can't say that I'm super excited because of the names of the games, but just to have it as part of the mini collection, the minis collection, I guess, however you want to say it, possible. I mean, I don't have the PlayStation 1. I don't really probably plan on getting that one. So I don't know. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens when it comes out. That's right around my birthday, so there's always something to ask for.
There you go. See,
I think I'm going to get this.
I think I'm actually my
what
pre-order.
Solidifies it is like Alter Beast, and like the original like lineup, like
Yes.
Alter Beast, Toe Jam and Earl. I know Echo was like a huge hit for like a lot of people. I never played it. I never really liked it. Sonic the Hedgehog. But now adding Earthworm Jim, Streets of Rage 2, Shinobi 3. God, that's got to be like. I can't wait until we find more information about it.
What's the matter, Mike?
To interrupt Mike really quick, I've heard of these games. I mean, I've heard of Altered Beast. I know, right? Ain't that horrible? I've heard of these games. I mean, I've heard of Altered Beast. It's an amazing game. I've heard that before. Earthworm Jim, I've heard is amazing.
Yeah.
So I mean, we'll see.
Kurt, you're breaking my heart. You mentioned Altered Beast, but you didn't do your famous line from Altered Beast about wising from your grave.
Wise from your grave.
All right, good. What's going on, KP? Kitten Panda's here. PlayPod, I got a problem with you right now, buddy. I'm sorry. So PlayPod said, so in the chat, Sherry and PlayPod were talking about Sonic Spinball. PlayPod says Sonic Spinball, the best game character-based pinball game. Wrong! I'm sorry. I got to say, an amazing pinball game, Kirby's Pinball Land for the Game Boy, was leaps and bounds the best pinball, one of the best pinball character games I've ever played. So that's all I'm going to say. So
I'm going to disagree with you on that, but hey, I still love you.
So, all right, so good. So that is never played Kirby Pinball. Oh yeah, you got to try it. It's awesome. That is the news. All right. So that's all we. Oh no, I'll talk about it during what we played. Bold claim. Yep. Yes, the Retro Game Brews. I completely agree, Mike. Go Kirby. That's right.
Yeah, my husband would agree with you.
Awesome.
And he's not a gamer. Like, we have the original one and the original Game Boy, and he loved that game. So yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Speaking really quick, speaking of the original Game Boy, happy belated birthday. Just turned 30 this week.
It's the 30th
Wow.
birthday. Oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
Guess what time it is?
Tool time?
New releases?
Story.
Oh, no. Oh, okay. No, never mind. I'm not going to say it then. Story time with Mike.
Story time with Mike.
Oh.
I was at the Gaim yesterday, and I was...
a Gaim.
Gaim? What the heck is a Gaim?
Yep. So I was at the Gaim yesterday. I was on the elliptical, and they got the TV channels, the TVs with all the channels, and it was time for the news. So, and you know the news is about to end when they start putting information that doesn't have to do with violence as the news report. So they said they did a short report about Game Boy celebrating its 30th anniversary, and they showed clips of like commercials from the Game Boy and stuff, and then they showed a picture of the Game Boy slowly spinning. These idiots at Channel 7. They showed a Game Boy Advance, which came out in 2001.
Oh my god.
Freaking morons, man. Happy birthday, Game Boy!
This is why you can't trust the news, people.
Fake news.
They don't know what you're talking about.
Fake Game Boy
Fake news.
Yes,
Game Boy
hashtag fake news. Wow. Somebody's fired.
I can't. I sent them a complaint. I'm hoping they put up a retraction.
I hope it was an angry letter form.
It was, yes. That's the only kind of form I know how to write. That and Comic Sans. I have trust issues, meow. Yep. All right, so that's our news. Brian, what games are coming out this week?
We have a couple games coming out. First one being Dragon's Dogma, Dark Arisen for the Switch. Mortal Kombat 11 for the PS4, Xbox One, PC, and the Switch.
You gotta say it like at the beginning of the song.
Mortal Kombat.
Okay.
All right, now that we get that out of our system.
Steam World Quest, Hand of Gilgamesh for the Switch, sure. Days Gone for the PS4, Box Boy and Box Girl for the Switch.
Do they have anything to do with boxes?
That's a
do
good
they
game.
come with cardboard boxes?
Like Labo? Is this a Labo game?
That's a Labo. Yes, that is the next Labo game.
Bad. It's not bad.
We shall see, Mike. We'll come over and we'll play with your cardboard box one day, and we'll be the judge of that.
I have a few choice words, but
if looks could kill.
And that's the end of episode 100. And we're out.
Sherry will not be with the controller throwers next week, as she gets her pink slip on episode 100.
I'm gonna need to see you in my office after the show. All right. Mortal Kombat 11. Yep, I'm very excited about that, but I stop bullying my VR.
I'm sorry, Angry Fortnite.
Mortal Kombat 11, absolutely. I'm very interested in that, but I might wait. Like I said, I might wait, but I don't know, man. I might just end up getting it. I don't know, because I loved Mortal Monday, man. When the first Mortal Kombat came out for the Super Nintendo, I was so ecstatic about that, and then I found out there was no blood, and I was like, so I had to go to my next door neighbor's house and play his Sega Genesis and type in Abacab.
The code.
Abacab.
Mm-hmm. I had the one for
Genesis.
Sega.
Yep. And do I have it? I got it. It's over there. Wait, do I have Mortal Kombat? Just Mortal Kombat 2. I don't know. I got games. Yeah, you can see the Sega games behind me right there.
I can.
Yep. And then Mortal Kombat 2 was one. I played that game nonstop. I remember watching an episode of Beavis and Butthead when a Super Nintendo commercial came on, and I was recording the episode on my VHS, just so you know how old I am. And
what's a VHS?
Yeah. And they had a commercial for Mortal Kombat 2, and I finished that episode of Beavis and Butthead recording it, and I rewound and I rewatched that commercial at like 2 a.m, like 9 or 10 times in a row, just to watch the Mortal Kombat 2 commercial for Super Nintendo. Oh, it was so awesome. And then when we went to the Galloping Ghost, I had my Mortal Kombat and Mortal Kombat 2 Super Nintendo cartridges autographed by the actors who played the characters in the games.
Very cool.
Yeah, Daniel Pacina and Sal DeVita, Carrie Hoskins, I think, played Sonya. So I love Mortal Kombat. I don't even know where I'm at right now. Okay, Days Gone. Days Gone is interesting. That's that zombie post-apocalyptic game, and it's getting some pretty good reviews. So,
okay.
SteamWorld Quest. Everybody, go look at the trailer for SteamWorld Quest. Image and Form makes some awesome games based on. All their games are based in this world they created called SteamWorld. SteamWorld Dig, SteamWorld Heist, SteamWorld Dig 2. All amazing games, and this game is set to be really good too. So, keep an eye on that one. All right, now that I'm done talking, anybody else got anything interesting? Anything else look interesting on these?
I like games.
Thank you for the insight, Kurt.
I'm going to second that notion.
Well, I'm not going to follow suit. I've been kind of looking forward to Days Gone since I first saw the trailer at E3 last year, or the year before, or whenever that one was first announced. I thought, ooh, that looks pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So I probably won't be getting it this week, but I probably will be picking that up. That's really it. I mean, if I had a Switch, maybe Dragon's Dogma. I played that before for the 360. Story's not great, but the action is the fighting sequences is pretty great.
Yeah.
And I mean, Mortal Kombat. I've never been into fighting games, so I have no. I mean, it looks cool. I've always been like hypnotized by Mortal Kombat ever since, watching it at Haunted Trails when the very first one came out. So that's probably it. I mean, I'll be looking a lot into it for Days Gone.
I gotta call this out. Kitten Panda just got a Switch.
Woo!
GG!
Hi.
Good work. Awesome. Good work, my friend.
Yes.
All right. Okay. What's next? Okay, Brian, thank you very much for the release. So now it is time, 100 episodes, everybody.
I was sick. We've only done this for 100 episodes. You're like, what do we do now?
Now it is time for our retrospective. Retrospective is the part of the show where one of the controller throwers is assigned a game. That game has to be a retro game. Retro game meaning?
15 years or older.
15 years or older. Thank you, Brian.
You're welcome.
That controller thrower's responsibility is to research that game, find out everything they can about it, amusing anecdotes, if they have the ability, play the game, and then come back next week and tell us all the wonderful things that you've learned. Last week...
It's a book report.
It's a book report, yep.
But with your mouth.
Yeah. It's a Facebook
Is that a mouth report?
No, we're getting way into a section we shouldn't be. That's for save that for the after show, people.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. So Kurt, you were assigned a game that actually,
I was?
the wheel of destiny is you a game that shut up. That you actually is near and dear to your heart. So why don't you tell us all about your game?
Okay, so my game was Gauntlet.
Yeah.
So before I get into this, I think I kind of hit on it last week. Gauntlet was a game that I found as a kid at a bowling alley when my parents used to go bowling, and I was fascinated by it. Fascinated because of gameplay and mainly because of the speech, the way that the game announced things. I was drawn to it instantly. So, Gauntlet is a fantasy-themed hack-and-slash game from 1985 that was actually developed by Atari Games and published by Atari Games. It was released in October of 1985. They sold a total of 7,848 Gauntlet video arcade cabinets, which is noted to be one of the first multiplayer dungeon crawl arcade games. The core dungeon of Gauntlet comes from Dandy, a 1983 8-bit Atari family title, which resulted actually in a lawsuit later on. So a little bit about the gameplay. So there are 4 players that play fantasy-based characters. So we got Thor, which is a warrior, Merlin, which is a wizard, Thyra, which is a Valkyrie, and Questor, which is an elf.
They had names? That's awesome.
They did have names, yes. And actually the names carry throughout the current versions of Gauntlet. So each character has his or own unique strengths and weaknesses. For example, the warrior is strongest in hand-to-hand combat. The wizard obviously is more powerful with using magic. The Valkyrie has the best armor, and the elf is the fastest in the movement because it was, the smallest one, and it moves fast. So upon selecting a character, the gameplay is set within a series of top-down, third-person perspective mazes, which were like the object to find and touch designated as exits in every level. An assortment of special items can be located in each level, as it increases the player's health. They unlock doors. They gain more points. They get magical potions, which could give them special abilities. And also potions that could destroy all the enemies on the screen. So the enemies are like fantasy-based monsters, including like ghosts, grunts, demons, lobbers, sorcerers, thieves. And each enters the level specifically through like spawners, like generators, which could be destroyed if you shoot them. While there are no bosses in the game, the most dangerous enemy is death. Okay? So you can't really kill death with just shooting or fighting him. So he either has to drain your health to a certain percentage, or you have to use a potion to destroy him. So he's the most like difficult player in the game. The game progresses. The higher the level you get, the more skills you need to reach the exit, and so on and so forth. So aside from the ability to have up to 4 players, the game was also noted for the narrator's voice, which is what really attracted me to the game when I was a kid, right? The voice, which was produced by Texas Instruments Speech Chip, which was the same speech chip that was actually used in the little, if you remember the red thing with the, I think it was, yes, Speak and Spell.
Really?
It was the same chip used in that.
Wow.
So
I gotta find a Speak and Spell and type in, elf needs food badly.
Warrior needs food badly.
Right. So it was the same speech chip, but the actual voices were encoded and narrated by a gentleman by the name of Ernie Flossis.
We gotta get him on the show.
And just to say that, and then be like, okay, we're done.
Right? Get out of here.
So frequently, it says, just different like game rules when you first start, like shots do not hurt other players yet, or remember, don't shoot the food. Elf
Yeah.
shot the food. Warrior needs food badly, and occasionally does comments on your battle that you play. I have not seen such bravery, or let's see you get out of here. So when the player's health gets a little bit lower and stuff like that, the narrator actually says your life force is running out. Elf needs food badly, or Valkyrie is about to die. So like this whole speech chip, this is stuff that would ring through my ears while I was in the arcade version, or the arcade section of the bowling alley, and it drew me to it. So this is why this is so near and dear to my heart, because I loved playing it. So it accommodates up to 4 players. Each player has its own joystick, which is, for that time, it was something that was never had before. It was the first video game that actually had 4 joysticks with 2 buttons individually. So it was basically your joystick, and it was a fire button, and it was a magic button, and that was it. So after that, they started developing other games that used the 4-player joysticks, and you can see some of the games out there today, which is the football games. They have, the 4 players and stuff. So the game was originally called Dungeons. Okay, the game was conceived by Atari game developer Ed Logg. He claimed that his inspiration was from his son's interest in the paper-based game Dungeons and Dragons, and from his own interest in 1983 and the computer game Dandy, he started developing this game. So from 1983 to 1985, with a team, he began designing this game. So the working title became available in 1985, which is also renamed as Gauntlet instead of Dungeons. So, I mean, it's pretty cool. There's tons of ports for the MS-DOS, Apple II, Apple Macintosh, MSX, the NES, Apple II GS, the Sega Master System, the Sega Genesis, which was actually titled Gauntlet 4, which is really weird because they actually took the original Gauntlet and they just titled it as Gauntlet 4 in the Genesis version, which is kind of weird. But the Atari ST, the Commodore 64, the Amstrad CPS, and the ZX Spectrum. So there are other emulated instances of the Gauntlet arcade series, which was included in Midway Arcade Treasures in 2003. Also, a compilation of arcade games were available for the GameCube, PlayStation 2, Xbox, and also for Windows. In 1990, the original Game Boy received a version of Gauntlet 2, which was a 16-bit conversions of the Atari ST and the Genesis, which had similar sound and graphics as the original game, but they retained the 4-player mode. So there's so much information on this. It's like I'll digress, but it was an amazing game. Like the reception of the game was amazing. It was a very highly profitable on its launch. Just a single arcade operator actually made $15,000 in 16 weeks because of this game. Another Canadian operator owned $4,500 in 9 days.
Whoa.
And the reason why this is such a huge feat is because you had kind of like a meter. So obviously when you get killed, you know, your points go down. But not only that, as you're sitting still, your health goes down. So you have like a grace period when you die to plunk more quarters in to the machine, and you'll actually respawn and be able to grab the stuff that you dropped. So that's why these operators made so much money, is because people would just constantly just be plunking in these quarters left and right for this game. God, it was just such an amazing game. And then in Gauntlet 2, they added extra levels. They added the ability to change your character. So, like, instead of just having elf needs food badly, it would be green elf needs food badly. Because no matter whatever joystick color you were, you could actually pick between the characters. Where the original, you could not. But yeah, just an amazing game. I mean, I could go on and on.
Yeah.
I will say, like, growing up in the, you know, I consider myself very lucky to have grown up in the era that I did. Growing up in the era of arcades, you immediately recognized a Gauntlet cabinet over all the bleeps and bloops of all the other games. When you're playing, you're like, and then you hear somebody playing Gauntlet, and you're like, oh, someone's playing Gauntlet. I know that sound. So yeah, it's instantly recognizable. So good. Yeah.
Awesome machine.
All right. So
See, for me, I had it on the Nintendo system. I never actually played it in the arcade first. I played it off the Nintendo. So when we went to Galloping Ghost and we actually got to play the arcade system, that was really cool. And you definitely could tell, like, over there, you know, you don't have to put the quarters in, but we were just standing there for, like, I don't know how long, an hour or two playing this game, and I'm thinking about how many times we had to push the button, you know, and I'm like, oh my God, I would have spent so much money on this game. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. It was definitely a moneymaker. And
oh, yeah.
Unbelievable.
That. Yeah.
And then of course, I remember when Kurt, you and I first started hanging out, we would go to GameWorks and play Dark Legacy or what, you know, the Gauntlet sequels, which are fun in their own rights, but they were no original.
No original.
Right.
Nothing will beat the original, my original in my heart is Gauntlet 2.
Yeah, me too.
Like,
I prefer 2.
The original Gauntlet is good, but I love me some Gauntlet 2 because they incorporated like so much more. Like some of the walls could be destroyed, or like some of the levels were invisible. And they did also, like, the dragon, which took up, like, 4 sprites or 4 not sprites, but 4 sections, I guess you would say,
It was large.
of the game. So it incorporates so much more.
All right. Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Kurt. Awesome.
Now I want to play
reporting.
Gauntlet.
Now I want to play Gauntlet too.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, that is Kurt's retrospective. So, Brian, it is your turn to spin the wheel of destiny.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Remember, though, I will not be here next week because of my appointment.
Okay. Sherry,
So
it is
do you
your
want
turn
to-
spin
Damn
the
it!
wheel of destiny.
Wait, how does Brian just get out of it? No.
He doesn't get out of it. He gets the next one.
Yeah, I don't get out of it.
I was gonna say, can I just use that excuse?
I'm not gonna be here next week either. You guys, something
Nice
came
try.
up.
Nice try.
I mean, I'll be more than happy to do it, but you won't get it for 2 weeks.
No, we got to keep it going. Starting with episode 101, I'm going to be a lot more vicious when it comes to.
Mike is
making sure
savage.
All right, so Sherry. Hey, but
Yeah.
look at it this way: you don't have to do it 2 weeks from now. You're getting it done and out of the way.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, spin the damn thing. Let's
All
see
right.
where this goes.
All right, so here we go. Any guesses?
Hopefully something good. Maybe
Okay.
one of the ones that I put on the wheel. That would be amazing. We already did Superman 64 Retro Game Brews.
Yeah.
Mike had to do that one. I would love Adventure Island 2. Like, if I could land on that, please. Like, can you rig it? Can you make it stop on Adventure Island 2?
I'm going to go with Prince of Persia.
Oh, that's a good
I was
one.
gonna say that. I was actually gonna say it, but I'll go with 10-yard fight.
Cruising USA. That's a great one. I'm gonna go with.
Who's gonna say it's awesome?
I'm going with Crystal Castles.
Ooh, that's a good one.
All right, here we go. The wheel spins. Oh, by the way, Sherry, I'm sorry, but don't blame me. Blame Brian.
No,
I'm the
it's
one
your
that's
fault.
Not going to be here next week.
It's your fault. No.
Don't blame me. Blame my health.
Oh, wow. Yeah. See, now are you happy, Sherry? Here we go. And Sherry's game is. Oh, Blood Omen: Legacy of Kain. It's a good game.
That's
Sherry's got that. I have no idea what this game is. Look on her face. It's a PlayStation 1 game.
You're a PlayStation 1 game.
it happened.
All right.
Good
Good work.
Good work.
Good work. Yeah.
Good work, Sherry.
Thanks.
Good job picking that
I
game.
try. I try.
So.
Okay.
All right. So. All right. So yeah, Sherry, go tell us all about Blood Omen: Legacy of Kain. Alrighty. So what's next? Oh yeah, now we're gonna get into what we've been playing. So who would like? Okay, so we'll do what we've been doing now. Did anybody not play anything this past week? All right, we'll skip it.
Wait,
But I have plans to play something.
Legacy of Kain, Blood Omen.
No, I've been busy with like a lot of stuff going on IRL, but the new Minecraft update just dropped today, so I am super stoked to get into that. I'm hoping I can do that tomorrow after work because today was just a crap show. But that's what I plan on playing next week. So catch up with me next week, and we'll talk all about the new Minecraft update, guys.
There you go.
All right. Anyone else not played anything? No? All right. Kurt?
Well, Sherry was saying I played, some Minecraft, obviously, because that's what I do from episode 1 until now. 100 weeks of Minecraft.
Just getting started.
So yeah, I played some Minecraft. I also played some Gauntlet. So I was saving that. You said, play it if you can. Well, Heck yeah, I played some Gauntlet.
You
If
played
I
it without me?
I played the original. How am I gonna play the original with you?
I don't know, but I want to play. I want to play too. We had so much fun playing that.
We did have fun. We had,
Yeah.
Really,
like,
really,
seriously,
really.
I think Mike kind of came by us maybe like 3 or 4 times. Like, you guys
We had to
don't
persuade
play?
him. We were at the machine so long that he was just like, all right.
It's like, you guys are still playing this Gauntlet thing, aren't you? Yeah, yes, we
play
are.
with us.
Yeah, we're like, come join us, and he's like, I'm gonna go
He's
I'm
like,
gonna play Chiller.
over here. It's like, come on, dude. Yes, we can play online together using that, but that's if we do the emulated stuff and whatnot.
You could always just have a really, really long cord for a controller.
oh.
Have it
You could do
stretch to
that.
45 miles that Kurt is away from.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna buy a bunch of drones and some cable ties and a lot of extension cords.
There we go.
That sounds
we're good.
legit.
But yeah, so I played some Gauntlet. I played Minecraft, and I think that was about it. Yeah, that was about it because, doing IRL things like wife buying a camper and having to do camper things.
Camper Things. Maybe I'll change the episode name to Camper Things.
No, I think you need to keep the original.
No, I think it should be doing IRL things like wife. That's where I just it just stopped right there. I was like,
this
oh.
is a PG stream.
So, Brian, what have you been playing?
Well, go ahead, Kurt. Finish. I want to hear your stories.
Nope, that's it. I'm done.
He wants to hear about more what you've been doing IRL.
Yeah.
Nope, I'm good. I'm gonna stop right there.
Save that for the after show.
So I played, of course, Red Dead Redemption 2. However, I did finish the main story.
Ooh, nice.
Nice.
Yes, it was very entertaining.
Did you cry?
No.
No.
Were you sad?
Well, spoilers. Let's get.
No.
Are we at a point? Are we at
We're
a
not
point?
saying what's wrong.
Why
or
are you
what
covering
happened.
your headphones? If anything, you're pushing them closer.
I
to
can't
your
hear
ears.
you.
That's what I'm saying.
No.
Are we at a point where we can talk about the story for Red Dead 2, or should we be waiting?
All I will say,
I think we should be waiting.
I'm not going to give anything away. I'm not going to say sad, happy, gassy, or anything. I'm just going to say bittersweet. That's all I'll say about it.
Gassy.
It's not
Bittersweet.
gassy all the time, so that wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Now it's like starting the game all over again.
What?
You
That's all
know,
he'll
no
say. That's all he'll
no
say.
money, it's slow horse, and a third of the map to unlock again.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Brian, you're gonna find some of the best parts of the story. Some of the best missions are coming up.
Okay.
Some of the best music in the entire game. So make sure you're paying attention. Some of the best music is in this part.
The final song, in the final that was really good.
That was a powerful song. Yep.
Yes.
Did it
yeah.
make you cry? Did
No.
you cry, Mike?
It
I
did
cry.
not.
I cry every day, so that makes a difference.
You know,
Okay.
I
Like,
will.
I can sneeze and
say
cry.
There was one part at the end where I was almost to the point of tears, but that's all I will say.
Oh, I love
One
games
part.
that make you cry.
Then play Walking Dead.
No.
Yes.
And
She's like,
Okay, hold on. One
I know
second.
how that ends. Zombies eat your face. I get it. Like,
Sherry's. I love games that make you cry. Well, then play The Walking Dead. No. All right.
I do what I want.
The Telltale
then.
Walking Dead season 1 is amazing.
Okay.
So. All right. What else did you play?
I also revisited an old game that we played. Mike and I actually played for a little while. That I
Destiny.
Better not be Destiny.
I have been thinking about have been getting back into.
Destiny.
Destiny.
It
Destiny
is
2?
not Destiny or Destiny 2.
I know
No
what it is.
Man's Sky.
I know what it is. So
No
What
Man's
is-
Sky.
Well, I hope so because he mentioned you.
What is it, Mike?
No Man's Sky.
It is No Man's
Woo!
Sky.
Oh,
That's right.
God, why?
Yes. I have been asking myself that same question. Played for about an hour,
I'm sorry.
and I said to myself, I am already kind of bored of this game.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
So the updates they brought, it didn't do anything for you?
Come on, it's No Man's Sky.
I
There's
know,
a reason
but-
why we called it the No Man's Sky Award for failed game.
I know.
I haven't even made it to a part where I can actually appreciate any of the updates.
Oh, wow.
Like at the beginning, there's a part where you can enter like 3 different types of like different ways to play, like build a mode or something along those lines.
Okay.
And that's all I really got to. I literally spent about 45 minutes on the same planet trying to fix and find my ship. And then I had the problem of going off planet for 3 hours or 37 seconds, however long it took me, or going to the other side of the planet to find a beacon that literally was going to take me 10 hours to get to.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't want to do this. And now I have to find copper. And I'm like, I don't want to find copper.
You'll never get me, Copper. See? Sorry.
Oh, God.
Fallout
So,
76
I'm kind
ain't
of-
sounding so bad now, is it?
And again, we're
I will
done.
be 100. I will be 100% honest with you. Like Fallout 76 may not be sounding very bad, but
Country roads.
I don't know when we're going to get a chance to play.
Yeah.
We do need to do that. I do need to
So-
open my copy.
I will say this though, being close to being done with Fallout, I'm kind of happy about that. You know, I've started collecting, or not Fallout, I'm sorry, Red Dead Redemption. I've started, doing all this collecting,
Mm-hmm.
and now I have everything else to finish collecting. I'm kind of thinking, maybe I just won't even bother.
Yep, that's what I did. I
No.
just blasted through.
It's like
Yeah.
I've gotten all the cigarette cards. I got all the dinosaur bones. I got all the drawings. I got just about every single legendary animal, and I'm like, as much as I love that game, I'm just ready to be done with it.
Yeah. That's
Understand.
how I felt. That's how I felt.
Yeah.
That and I'm getting like Mike. I bought a GameCube about a month ago, and I'm
Yeah.
really itching to get into playing that some more.
Did
Yay!
you get any retro pickups?
I did actually. Well, I
Ooh.
did I share them with you? Yeah, I shared them with you, Mike.
Mike is
Share it
bouncing with excitement.
You didn't share
Well-
with the class. Share with the class, bro.
I
Yeah,
did-
share with us, damn it.
I don't
Darn
actually
it.
have them. I don't actually have them with me. Well, I did share them with you guys. I shared them on the chat.
Okay,
Oh,
meant
that's
we're
right.
talking.
You put
Just
the
tell
neat-
us what games you picked up.
Share with everybody who's
Shush.
listening and watching.
I picked up Need for these are both for the GameCube. Need for Speed Most Wanted, as well as Medal of Honor Rising Sun.
Nice.
And then one that I did not show Mike or you guys actually, but I also picked up and kind of excited, but I kind of maybe paid a little too much for it.
Oh.
Was not True Crime. Def Jam Fight for New York.
Oh, Def Jam, made by the people who made WWF No Mercy.
Yes.
All right.
That's wrestling.
We got a follow. Thank you, Blackheart, for the follow. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Your name is now called out and will be forever on episode 100. Good work.
There you
Look at
go.
that.
So yeah, that's it. Those are the 2 games I played, and hopefully I'll be finishing Red Dead soon, so I can jump into some retro games.
Awesome.
Yay.
All right. Well, I've been playing more Spider-Man on the PS4. I have not been streaming it because I've just
Rude.
You're rude. I've just been zipping around New York getting all the collectibles, so I'm not going any further.
We're not
in the
missing any
story.
storyline?
You're not missing any story. No.
Okay.
So I've been doing that. I think that's all I've been playing on the PS4. Yes. Yes. On the Switch, I've been playing a game that I can't really talk about. I'm under embargo right now for the review, but I will have the review of the game up on GamerheadsPodcast.com on Thursday night. It's interesting. It's an interesting game. That's all I'll say.
Okay.
I've been playing that, and I've been playing some more Tetris 99, of course.
Yay.
Oh, one more game. Thank you, Angry Fortnite. Yes, I forgot to say.
Uh-oh.
I've been playing. I played a couple rounds of Fortnite. But here's
Why?
And I'll tell you why.
The same reason I played No Man's Sky.
Why?
Trying to
Because I hate myself.
We lost the bet.
Yeah. There was a new mode that was out. And
Mike, you're fired.
Yeah. Hey, at least.
See my office, Mike.
Yeah. There was a new mode that came out, and you play the mode in duos. And Boy wanted to play.
Boy.
Yeah, Boy. So Boy wanted to play the game with me. He's like, hey, Dad, let's try this. And I'm like, oh, I'm terrible at Fortnite, but it's an airplane only mode where one person is flying the airplane and another person is standing on the wing.
What?
Right. Yeah. So the person standing on the wing can get access to things like miniguns and all different types of weapons. The person flying the plane can just shoot forward. Myself, being a huge fan of Star Fox and being a huge fan of Crimson Skies, said, okay, you know what? Maybe I will give this a shot. This was fun. And this, I am proud to say I enjoyed playing Fortnite because I suck at Fortnite because I can't aim, but doing the dogfight mode. Doing the dogfight mode, flying the plane, it immediately brought back my skills from Star Fox, immediately brought back my skills from Crimson Skies. I was zipping around. I was doing barrel rolls.
I was just going to ask.
I was bobbing. I was weaving. I was talking trash.
Nice.
Going sideways and going in between mountains and trees and stuff while he's on the wing picking off the enemies. We played 3 rounds. I think we played 4 rounds. But we played 3 rounds. Round 1, we came in 3rd place out of 30 people. Round 2, we came in 2nd place. And round 3, we won. So,
wow, look at you guys!
Yeah. We kicked butt in that.
Nice.
So
GG.
yeah. So we had a lot of fun. That mode was, to me, was awesome. Like, it was chaotic and I was because you could shoot with the plane. So I took out a couple people. So in all, we had 25 kills, and flying the plane, I got 3. Out of the 25 kills, I had 3, and Boy had 23 or 23. So yeah. And then I also played some Cuphead on the Switch. By the way, Kitten Panda, that's another game to get on the Switch. Cuphead.
Yes, absolutely.
So yeah, domination, exactly. So we Boy got some Switch card for Easter, so he downloaded Cuphead. So we've been playing some of that, and I just found out something amazing today. So there's a new update that came out for Cuphead, which I like to call a Cupdate. That had some extra stuff like new intros, things like that, new animations, and you could play as Mugman in single player.
Oh, really?
Something was just found out today. In this update, they secretly added hidden bosses. Yes. So there's it's not. Yeah, Dr. Kale is evil, absolutely.
Oh, for sure.
You have to do certain things, and it's in certain boss battles, and it swaps out one boss with another. So it's not like whole new stages. It's like kind of like, so like, for example, if you do something, I forgot what it was, in the root pack battle, when you get to the carrot, it swaps out the carrot for a radish, like an angry radish.
Oh, that was part of one that didn't make the cut. Because if
Okay.
you watch like behind the scenes stuff, I remember watching this that the radish was actually supposed to be part of. Does it throw babies at you or something like that?
I didn't watch the video. I just read the article literally like 5 minutes before we started the show.
But that was one that was scrapped. It ended up on the floor, and so they're adding in. Oh wow, this is really interesting. Now damn it, I might have to get it for the Switch now.
Yeah, and also if you and then there's another one in the Sally Stage Play boss
Yes.
where if you do something specific, the ceiling will collapse and kill her husband, and he'll come back as a zombie, and you have to fight him too. So they've added like some really cool, and they didn't announce it to anybody, so people are just like secretly like accidentally finding these things. It's really old school. So
I'll have to find that YouTube video that talks about things that were the production of the game, because it does talk about things that were scrapped, and it sounds like they're adding those into the game, which is really interesting.
Yeah. So and then I forgot what the third one was. Oh, something with Jimmy the Genie or Jin, whatever his name is.
Genie.
The Genie.
Jimmy. Yeah.
Whatever his name is. But yeah, there's something with him where you actually fight a Cuppet. Something like that.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what it was. Something like that.
Oh wow.
Cuppet.
I have that one too.
You got Cuppet?
Yeah.
So I played Jimmy. Thank you. So I played Cuphead with Boy, and I played Fortnite with Boy, and then there was a game that came out for the Switch that I want to talk about. It's called Warhammer. I forgot Warhammer, and then something of something. It's a free to download game. It's a card battle game, and it's one of those free to play but pay to win type games. I was interested in getting into a
grumble.
Grumble. I was interested in getting into a card battle game. And this one is actually very surprisingly good. It was easy to get into, and you really have to think about it as you're playing, like what cards you're going to play. So you would also get booster packs and things like that. You can actually go and purchase real packs of the card game and scan them onto your Switch, and then it'll give you the digital version of the card you just got. So I played that, which is a lot of fun. Hearthstone, yeah, I've heard Hearthstone is good too. So I played this game. I played a few online matches. Actually, won 2 online matches. So GG for me. And then other than that, I played Labo VR. We built the blaster, the shotgun thing, and we had a lot of fun playing that. So
Nice.
that's all I played. Yeah. So all right, well, that just about does it for episode 100 of the Controller Throwers podcast. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching the last 100 episodes. Thank you so much for listening to the last 100 episodes. Thank you for all the follows. Thank you for all the subs. Thank you for all the donations. Thank you for all the biddies. Thank you for just being here with us and chatting with us as we celebrate this hobby that we all love so much. All of you in the chat, we love having you around every Tuesday. Kurt has something to say, so I'll be quiet.
Not only that, thank you very much for all the people that actually email us and respond via Twitter and Facebook and everything else. You guys are the people that really inspire us to do more episodes and add to our podcast. So please continue emailing us and pinging us on Twitter and Facebook and stuff like that. We really appreciate that.
Thank you. Yeah, we love that. We love the feedback. We love hearing from you. There's been times where we're just like, should we even continue doing this? Like, does anybody even listen? But hearing from all of our friends is really, really awesome. So thank you all so much. Brian, Sherry, I don't know if you had anything you wanted to.
I'm not allowed to be.
Screw Flanders.
Actually, I was just gonna say copy and paste what you two have said. You guys, it's all about the fans. You guys are what keep us going. So please continue. Here's to 100 more.
Yeah, It's been a long, strange trip, but but it's a lot of fun. We enjoy every Tuesday night, and Thank God someone's listening, you know?
All three of you, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, right?
All right. So be sure to check us out on the social medias. You can find us on Facebook. We're at facebook.com/TCThrowers. You can also find us on Twitter. We are at TCThrowers. That's at, anyone?
T.
T.
As in?
K.
Tom.
F.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'll just do it. Thank you, Kurt. I appreciate it. Sherry, thank you for derailing it. T as in Tom, C as in
What I'm here for.
Charlie, Throwers as in throwing things. You can also send us an email, thecontrollerthrowers@gmail.com. You could download the podcast on iTunes, Google Play, and at gamerheadspodcast.com, where we share another awesome podcast, the Gamerheads Podcast, with our friend Roger. What else? Check us out on twitch.tv/TCThrowers, where we air the show every Tuesday night. We also, I also try to stream as much as possible from that, and we do the Perler show every Saturday night, although I've been slacking lately, and I need to get back on it into making all the Pokemon. So, but until next week, everybody, for episode 101, the start of something new, have some fun, play some games. We'll see you all next time. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.